What's up and welcome to episode 4 of the What's Up Gwent podcast, a fortnightly podcast where we get together and chat about, the world of Gwent. We chat about metas, we chat about patches, we chat about kind of everything. And today's main topics are going to see us talking about kind of a discussion around, I suppose, the new patch, because we didn't know it was going to be announced on this day, but lo and behold, it's announced on the day we are recording, so we have to talk about the new patch. But we're going to more talk about the whole kind of, should Gwent still be in open beta? And the next topic we're going to talk about, which is mostly why these two heroes are here today, because they're very passionate about this topic, and that is the competitive state of Gwent at the moment. We're talking the esports scene, which I completely understand isn't for every listener, isn't going to be for every player, but even if I wasn't involved in the competitive scene, I'd be very interested to know what the kind of elite top-level players would think of the state of that at the moment. And that's kind of where we're going to dive into it. So I should probably get away from teasing these heroes and actually get into who these heroes are. Today, joining us again, we have Semper and Ville, both from, the wonderful Team Rankstar. How are we doing, gents?
I'm doing good, thanks.
I'm good.
Good. As always, a pleasure having you here. I loved our previous episode we done, which was episode 2. I'm pretty stoked to have you guys back. But before we jump into the content of the podcast, these guys, I will get you to introduce yourself quickly again, because you never know, it might be someone's first podcast picking it up. But before we jump into that, I should just quickly mention we do have a Patreon running, guys, and the Patreon is purely there to help support the heroes who come on the show as well as the show in general. It's not a we had someone join the Patreon the other day, and they sent a message, a very honest message, saying, is this like basically a Woody beer fund? I wish it was a Woody beer fund, but no, I have my own beer fund for that. This is just a case of to help support production of the show, to help support any heroes who need any recording equipment or anything like that, really. So if you like the show and you want to throw some dollars over on Patreon, then by all means feel free to do so. Link is in the description on whatever platform you are listening to this on. So jump over to Semper, my friend. Again, you haven't got to go in a massive introduction, but kind of just who you are, just in case it's someone's first time listening.
Well, I'm SemperEU. I am the competitive team captain for Team Rankstar. And you can catch me on Twitter and Twitch at SemperEU.
Oh, that was seriously sexy and slick. I liked that. Ville, dude, where can people find you?
So my name's Ville. You can find me basically streaming on Twitch twice a week usually. Twitch.tv/VilleKSK. You can also find me with the exact same name on Twitter, and yeah, I'm a competitive player, I guess. And yeah, nice.
If you are interested in following these heroes, guys, then links to their Twitch and social media channels are in the descriptions below. But enough of the whole chewing the fat of the introduction and all that nonsense. Formalities out the way, guys. Should we jump into the actual meat of topic 1?
Let's do it.
Cool. So I sent the notes over to you guys, and the short tagline, shall I say, the short title of topic 1 was, should Gwent be in beta? That's quite a kind of broad question, and it kind of come off. I recorded a video a little while ago, which I'm not going to get into because there was already enough discussion in several Discords about it. But diving more into it here as an actual discussion thing, the first topic I want to mention to why this is a topic is, the game is continuously getting not rebalances or not new or like balancing of cards. We're talking full-on reworks, like completely changing the wording, the keyword of a card, which to me feels like very much an open beta. Something that would happen in an open beta, something you'd expect in any game in open beta. And that's kind of where I kick it off with. Do you feel like the rework of cards, I suppose, firstly, do you feel like rework of cards are working in the game? And secondly, do you feel like that is something that would lend the game to being more in an open beta state at the moment?
Am I taking this first or you, Ville?
I mean, you can go.
I mean, for the first part, should it still be in beta? Probably not, because it spent like 2 years in beta beforehand, right? Even though it was a different game.
Yep.
Like, it still spent them 2 years in beta. Then it transitions into Homecoming. I think they did it in 6 months. Maybe the more accurate point is, should you have spent longer making Homecoming? Regarding the reworks, did it work? I mean, you'd have to say yeah, because the rework to Northern Realms took it to the probably the best faction in the game, right?
Yep.
I mean, it's a bit unfortunate that they both fall test, like, probably a little bit too early, not realising the Green Knight would go and break the meta, like it normally does.
Yep.
But, yeah, I think the rework, I don't have a problem with the reworks, because, like, you can't get everything spot on first time, right? So if something isn't performing well and it needs a different target, it needs a different ability, then it's fine reworking cards. I mean, as long as they don't do it every single patch, which I doubt they will.
Yeah.
I don't see a problem with it.
I think I feel like it's in the kind of a catch-up state at the moment, and I can understand. Well, they openly said this in the most recent patch 3.2 that they're not going to do tons of reworks now because challenge is around the corner, which makes sense because it's a bit harsh if you go, oh, competitors, you've got 2 weeks to learn all these new cards. Like, that's just a bit harsh. So I can get why that is, and I feel like they've kind of got the balance right today. But yeah, I feel like they're in a catch-up state. And event, well, I'm hoping it kind of plateaus out. Everything's reworked now. Now we can just work on balances. But Vil, what did you think about the matter, dude?
Okay, so my thoughts, Gwent, shouldn't be in beta anymore. Don't think that would exactly be necessary, although, like Semper said, I think they should have, maybe worked a bit longer on Homecoming, and maybe even they should have given us a bit longer, like PTR. I don't remember exactly how long it was, like 2-3 weeks, something like that. Maybe that's even a bit too much. I honestly don't remember. But when you take Gwent open beta from Homecoming, it's basically a different game. I think
it's completely. There's not. I don't think there's a card that. I mean, I only played 50 hours of open beta, but I don't think there's a card that directly transitioned over, which basically means it's a completely new game.
Yeah, basically. So I think we should have at least gotten like a month of, playing the new Gwent, I guess. So we could have given more constructive feedback. And for the card reworks right now, I mean, I'm fine with them. Of course, they're worrying if they're if you need them all the time, because I mean, there's always gonna be a faction or a deck that's better than the one. But to have them happen like each month to one faction, like certain cards, it's worrying because if you can't balance the game soon, then who's gonna play the game in like the next year or so?
Yeah, well, and it was only literally today. I watched it like 3 hours ago, but they then already are teasing and announcing that we're gonna hear soon on the next expansion. And my concern with that is, like, don't get me wrong, having new cards, new mechanics coming to a game is great when it's ready for it. But my concern is they're already reworking these cards. Let's say let's say this patch ends up being really cool. Like, no, we can't comment on this patch's reworks at the moment because we haven't played them. But let's say, actually, you know what, this meta's nice. It's versatile. I can play a few different decks and it feels fun. And then all of a sudden, this expansion comes in and we get Syndicate 2.0. And all of a sudden, it breaks the game. And I say breaks the game. It makes the game not that fun at times. And then all of a sudden, we spend 2 months correcting that. And then they rework other factions like Nilfgaard again to bring them up to power to a new expansion. And my concern is, do you think it's going to be a vicious circle with these reworks if they keep rushing out these expansions?
Yeah, if they don't take their time, then it's gonna be the never-ending cycle, and no one's gonna be, of course, happy about that. They should honestly just take their time with actually balancing the game before breaking anything that could potentially break it again, like an expansion.
Yeah, agreed. I think if I'm speaking completely honestly, and I don't mean this in a harsh way at all towards CDPR, but I think they're worried if they take their time with expansions, they're gonna lose players. And I think what they actually need to realise is if they came out and it was just like, look guys, okay, next expansion isn't going to be for another 3 months, but in this 3 months we have this plan, this plan, this plan. This is our end goal for 3 months. I think players who like the game, who are passionate about the game, are going to be like, cool, that's fine. Like, we can wait if that's what you're going to deliver. Maybe I'm wrong in saying that, but that's personally how I feel that should be. That they feel too panicky that they might lose players if they don't bring new content.
Yeah, I guess, but like we are losing. Well, I don't know exactly the stats, but I'm assuming ever since it's like Syndicate
found the stats yesterday. Actually, they are a month old. The stats I got, but currently there is about just under 60,000 players in Gwent. That's not concurrent active players. It's just currently the game is about 60,000 players, which is drastically lower than other big CCGs. But I don't think that aims to be other big CCGs. But I'm just saying 60,000 players sounds like a lot. So if you've got like a casual listener going, well, that's loads of players. It really isn't a ton of players in effectively a competitive card game.
Yeah, like it's kind of sad because we are always, I don't know, like ever since Syndicate came out, at least that I know of, we've been losing players, and not only players but top quality content creators for the game that make it stand out and make those new people come into the game. And if they keep on rotating out because they get bored or annoyed of the game, then we are not gonna have new players anyway. So what's the point of bringing new expansions when no one's gonna care?
No, agreed. Semper, do you have anything to add to that, dude?
Going back to the point where you said about what did you say?
About rushing expansions, they're worried about losing players?
That was it. I don't think it's necessarily about thinking they're going to lose players because they're not building expansions. Like you said, if they said we'll bring out a new expansion in 3 months, but I think the players are more bothered about the current game at the moment because most players that play this game genuinely love the game, right?
Well, you put thousands of hours in,
Yeah, like if they work at the game that it is now, and then only give us 2 expansions a year, I think everyone's going to be happy about that. They're going to lose more players with a broken game, or not as fun game, or a stale game, than a game that's releasing a lot of expansions. Like, if that makes sense.
I agree.
Like, they'll lose more players with the state of the game rather than how many expansions they're putting into the game. I
100% completely agree with you. And I think, I mean, maybe I'm looking too much into this, but I think and I feel that this previous meta, the DJ Foltest meta, was a bit of a wake-up call to CDPR because you look at the nice die-hard consistent streamers, and towards halfway to the end of the season, we're streaming other games. Like we're taking a break from Gwent, and that I think maybe was a bit of a, oh shit, we probably need to actually maybe get this fixed. Maybe get the game in its core state fixed.
I don't think I agree with that. If that was the case, then they would have released a hotfix.
Yeah, that was an odd choice. That was an odd choice. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they feel like they always release a hotfix and they want to actually see how the season panned out, which I can understand because we very often players will run into one deck for a week and be like, oh, this deck's disgusting, it's broken, and then people soon will learn how to beat it and it won't be disgusting and broken. And I can see why they wouldn't release a hotfix to maybe... It's the first time they haven't when there's been a problem and gone, actually, we want to see how this plays out, which I don't think helped the game, but I could see why they would do that, if that made any sense.
I mean, that's a ballsy call to make, but when you see literally the whole community complain about 2 certain decks, isn't that, like... I agree. Show you the red light, like...
I agree. I mean, and as they said today in the stream, there's a whole meme about the 4th most played leader. But yeah, like I said, I don't agree they didn't release a hot patch. I can see a hot fix. I can see why though, because they always do, and I could see when they're going, actually, let's just see if this plateaus itself out, and it clearly didn't. It clearly pissed a lot of people off, including myself. So yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, although like you could say DJ was problematic, it was still very, very beatable. So like you can.
I mean, Jason Slama beat him 18 times out of 20. So
yeah, well, I'm like. There's a reason, like, we've been playing EGC, me and Ville.
Yeah.
And in the last, so I think it was 4 tournaments in the last meta, and Foltest got banned every single time for me.
I played 1 tournament, and that was the same case, yeah.
Except for 2 games. Like, I feel like the Foltest bit was definitely a bit too far. That was genuinely broken because the deck had very, very little weaknesses.
Yeah.
But with DJ, I don't think it was that problematic. It was just, the Igor Summoning Circle deck was a problem.
Yeah.
But that was because Igor and the Summoning Circle
it wasn't...
were the problem. It wasn't DJ that was the problem.
No.
Don't get me wrong, his leader ability may have been a bit too good. And like they said in today's video, they said that they wanted to cap it at 9 coins where DJ wasn't. He was going to like 11, 13 coin carryover or whatever on the crowns you're playing. But like as a whole, DJ wasn't that problematic. I think for me it was just the fall test, but it just got stale in the end. That's why I've not been playing so much.
Yeah, no, agreed. Well, you guys touched on the next thing I wanted to bring up about the whole Gwent beta topic, which was, I know, Vil, you was in the PTR, I believe, for Homecoming. I know I wasn't. I know Semper wasn't. And I know some people who were invited to PTR didn't even get into PTR. I reached out to a couple other people to ask about this, to try and get a bit more of a broader mind, a broader understanding of it all. But do you think effectively ignoring 2 years of hard work, of updates, of open beta knowledge to release Homecoming very quickly, was it a good idea? Do you really honestly, I suppose I'm asking your opinions. Yeah, do you think it was a silly idea to effectively ignore open beta Gwent and jump into a new game?
I mean, it's you spend, I guess you could even use the term, basically waste 2 years of your time.
Well, it effectively was, isn't it? What knowledge did they learn in a free row or free lane card game that they put across this? They're clearly nothing. Yeah,
it's basically they have 2 years of time of developing this game, and when one patch, I get this midwinter was bad, but when that just went completely wrong and the community didn't like it, instead of looking at the stats and the analytics of the actual game in itself, they decided, fuck these 2 years of stats, we're just gonna make a new game in 6 months, see you then. And then it's basically a new game that they again have to start that all over again. And of course it's hard to do all of this, but they could have done it way better. I honestly, I think ideally I wouldn't have even, I guess, seen Project Homecoming ever happening. Even when I heard it was announced, I was a bit like, oh, that's silly, but guess I was wrong in the end.
Yeah, but within 6 months, I started in August a year ago. You can't say the game was even that bad. What they created in 6 months, I thought was pretty decent. Yeah, there was some problematic cards like Shiru and Sihil and stuff like that, but as a game as a whole, I thought it was pretty decent.
I think vanilla Homecoming was more balanced than the game is now.
Vanilla Homecoming was maybe a bit better. Of course, there was the problem of artifacts and whatnot.
But that was what I mean was, okay, there was artifacts, there was neutral cards, but there wasn't a faction that was running away with it. There wasn't this now we have this massive gulf between factions. We didn't have that in vanilla. That's what I mean by it being more balanced. Yes, there was artifacts were an issue. But I just feel like there was a bit more substance to each faction, whereas now it's why? Okay, granted, after this patch you might play monsters, but I still don't think monsters are anywhere near competitive after this patch.
I think you have to wait to see all that to make a statement like that.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I said. I was talking to someone earlier. I feel like the bleed. I completely understand why they lean into bleed as an archetype. Vampires bleeding. You don't even need to play Gwent to know that vampires and bleeding makes sense. I just feel like bleeding is a very slow mechanic, and I just think they're going to struggle for tempo. That's my personal opinion, and it is a sweeping statement, and it is a bold comment. But my personal opinion is monsters still without the dominance, the changing back to. On the dominance mechanic, I just feel like the monsters is going to struggle with tempo. Bleed is too much of an easy mechanic to play around. I personally think that. So,
say that to Executioner.
Well, okay, yeah, but Executioner can get 9 bleeding off at once. There's not a single monsters card that can get 9 bleeding off at once.
Not now.
Not now, but I still don't think they. Yeah, no, you are right. You are right. 9 bleeding Executioner is very powerful. I just feel like the monsters, again, this next patch, I don't think they are competitive. I think people will make a way of finding them strong and win games with them, but I don't think, for example, ECG, I'm going to jump back into ECG this season. I don't think we come across many monster decks in those competitions, if any.
Yeah, no, like monsters are probably still gonna be one of the 2 least played factions, I think. I mean, they might be up there for like solid 2 weeks maybe, because everyone wants to test it out, but ultimately I see like NR, Syndicate, Scoia'tael, hell, maybe even Nilfgaard beating them quite easily. And I didn't even mention Skellige. Skellige's getting a bunch of reworks. Skellige is up there, right? And honestly, the monsters patch notes seemed the least interesting and the least powerful.
Yeah. But I mean, we digress because we love digressing. So do you feel like, obviously, we mentioned that I think it's an obvious statement to say that Homecoming was rushed, but I do agree with Semper. I only played 50 hours open beta, which so some people might go, that's quite a lot. It's not. In a card game, 50 hours is like playing the tutorial. And this Homecoming, I honestly, it captured me enough to make me want to stream the game, make me want to create content about the game, make me want to give up time for the game. I loved like Vanilla Homecoming. I loved the way Homecoming was, the way it presented itself, the way it played. And I think for a game, like Semper said, that was turned around in 6 months, you have to give complete kudos to CDPR for doing that. Now, that's coming from someone who didn't have the investment in open beta Gwent. But do you feel they should have gone, hey, you know what, guys, we're releasing this game, Homecoming, but we're going to have a 6-month open beta period where we're going to be making lots of changes to the game. We're going to be doing these monthly updates. We're going to try some things out before we release it in its entirety. Work with us on this. Do you think that would have been a better approach to Homecoming rather than going, we're ignoring this time in open beta, here's Homecoming? Do you think that the short-term open beta in Homecoming would have helped the game at all?
Gotta be honest, I didn't hear any of that because you cut out for me.
Yeah, you actually cut out.
Oh, really? I'm sorry. I will repeat. So, do you feel like do you think it would have been a better idea for CDPR to turn around and say we're extending open beta by 6 months to accommodate for Homecoming, that we're going to have updates every month, but we're going to be changing the game each month, playing around with things in open beta because we want this game to work when it launches in its entirety. When it launches in its entirety, it goes to mobile, it has the Twitch overlay, it has all this stuff here. We're working on this in the background. Here's Homecoming, work with us to make it good. Do you think that would have been better rather than just going, here's Gwent 1.0, here's Homecoming, enjoy?
I mean, it's easier to say that now because 2020 hindsight, right?
Yeah, of course.
So, like, you're looking at the situation now and thinking an extra 6-month open beta period for everyone to test the new Homecoming. Like, back in October, let's say, it started from October till April.
Yeah.
Then, obviously, you could say that now that would probably maybe benefit it. But imagine everyone that was waiting for Homecoming to arrive, and then they go, right, we're going to extend it another 6 months for testing or whatever. And then they might be thinking, I'm going to lose a lot of player base if we do this.
I mean, but correct me if I'm wrong, they did lose a lot of players with Homecoming, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
No, they did.
But they could have lost more if they said we're not doing anything for another 6 months after that. You just don't know, and I think...
Yeah.
And
yeah,
don't
I
get me
mean,
wrong, with hindsight, it definitely would have been beneficial.
Yeah, like, I agree with Semper, like, already people were super bored, because the last patch before Homecoming dropped was, it was the midwinter patch, right? I mean, there was some graphical and minor tweaks to cards in between, but ever since midwinter, there was really no fresh content apart from the tournaments, which of course kept everyone interested, because, tournaments are fun. Gwent esports is fun. But other than that, it was actually really stale. It was even more stale than what, this meta was. But it didn't feel like it because we did have competitive play at the side. So having like a 6-month, I guess, beta for Homecoming, it probably would have worked out if they had still the competitive scene going on in the background. And honestly, that might have been beneficial even to have the competitive scene with the Homecoming beta, because then they would have finished season 1 before ideally before Homecoming was even released, and then we would already be like that at the start of season 2, new fresh season, new games all.
Yeah. Like you both said, hindsight is a wonderful thing, and it's easy to sit here on a golden throne and say, "Oh, you've done that wrong." But when you're in the heat of it, in the heat of the office, and you're making decisions, I can only imagine it will be 10 times harder. And again, going back to what Semper said, what was put out with Homecoming, I enjoyed, and Semper says he enjoyed it. It was a good game. It was just it's only now I feel like that with some expansions and some additional stuff that the cracks have started to show in it. But hopefully,
for me, I feel like the game's only got better.
Yeah.
Like I think from what it was, I think the game's a lot better than what it was. It's just, we just had
it is getting better, but there's
it is getting better, but it does feel like with each patch, the gap gets bigger between factions, and I hope now they start to rein that gap in. I feel
give it 3 months for the gap to close.
That's what I'm hoping. But the issue is, if they release another expansion at the end of this month, which would be the end of the 3 months, Novigrad release end of June, end of September is 3 months. If they release another expansion at the end of this month, that isn't time to give the 3 months to the gap to close. That's my concern, I suppose.
I can see the concern there, but I think you just got to let it happen. Just have faith.
He's a George Michael fan as well as a Bon Jovi fan.
Oh God!
Got to have a bit of faith. On that note, let's go on to the final topic, gents. On this, or the final topic on this topic. Look at that! It's like Inception, a topic within a topic. Does the lack of features in Gwent 1.0? Now, this is only 50% of a question now, because I had down spectate mode and Twitch overlay. Twitch overlay is coming tomorrow. As if people are listening to this, it's been out for 2 days. Now, Twitch overlay, honestly, I couldn't see the benefits of it until I started playing Mythgard, but I'll get onto that more in a second. But does the lack of features, and mostly talking about spectate mode and Twitch overlay, do you feel like that has a negative side on the competitive element of the game? Now, let me explain why I've gone down the competitive element route. As I said, I've been playing Mythgard recently, and that has a Twitch overlay right now in closed alpha. I've not seen the Twitch overlay because when I'm streaming, I don't get to. I don't watch my own streams. I can't see the Twitch overlay in action. But we've had people come by the stream who've never heard the game, never seen the game, and they're involved in the gameplay and they're learning the game because they're like, "Oh, you could play this card here," and I'm like, "That's a good idea." They don't know the game, but they can read the ability of the card and they can talk about it. And that, by competitive action, I mean it's like watching a sport but having a lot more understanding of it happening in front of you without having 700 hours in the game to know what the cards do. So that's what I mean by the Twitch overlay on the competitive side there. And by spectate mode, I mean that nobody, not a single team anymore in Gwent, casts their community tournaments or puts videos out of replays of their community tournaments purely because there's no spectate mode. Because it's the editing is a pain in the arse. You basically have to take both people's recorded videos to then cut one, to then mask their cards upside down over the other cards just to cast a video that's going to get maybe 1,000 views on it. It's just a waste of time. A spectate mode would literally take that out and would allow the competitive scene to be promoted more by going, hey, look, we can cast, we can commentate, we can do over this thing. Here's what competitive Gwent looks like. People can jump in and watch the highlight reel, like watch a match of the day of Gwent plays, which I think would be great. So back to the question, do you guys feel like those features are having a negative effect on the competitive side of the game?
I don't think Twitch overlay would have a negative effect on the competitive side of the game. Only reason being because it's just for interactability with streams, right? It's beneficial for the new player. So I don't think it would have that much effect on the competitive side, but spectate mode, I've said it before on multiple times that Gwent needs spectate mode. Obviously, coming from Hearthstone, all you had to do is open your friends list. Your friend would be in a game. They give you a little eye icon. You click it, and then you're straight in their game, just watching. It's got a 5-second delay.
That's exactly the same as Mythgard. So I've been playing Mythgard, and at Mythgard you have two options. You can either go on ladder and you go to actions, and basically it shows you the complete match history. So I've been going on and watching like mythic matches because like they're high level plays, and you can speed it up, you can slow it down, or you can go on live and literally just watch people playing right there, right then. And I've had people come in and watch my games who have said, oh, I've got to go from the stream, but they've carried on watching the game on their phone in some app that they've got to play it early. And this game's in closed alpha, and it has a fully working, very good spectate mode, and that's what's opened my eyes and gone, well, how is this not in Gwent?
You got to think, like, if, let's say, the people that make Mythgard, I think it is Rhino.
Rhino, yeah.
Yeah. If they've learnt from other CCGs beforehand, like, then it's easy to put a spectate mode straight in, because they know that every CCG's got it, all the players like it. Why would you not put it straight in? Because you can just work on it, right?
True, but then Gwent is 4 years after Hearthstone, and other CCGs that got spectate mode. So it's not like they didn't know it existed.
No, of course not. But I just don't think they ever implemented it. But like, I think spectate mode would make a massive difference, because you can, like, community tournaments, you can go and stream people's games, even in Swiss rounds. Yeah. So you can actually make 2-day live streams of people's tournaments. Like, the only people that do a live stream of tournaments is the people at Claymore. Yeah, like, Claymore go through so much stuff just to get their live stream and like live stream the game. Obviously, because I know, because I was involved in it. Like, I think Claymore opened, I think it was in April. Like, the amount of work they go through, which is just I take my hat off to them.
It's incredible. It's insane. And
that's obviously everyone else had to do it. Record your game. Let's go put it together. Then we'll get 2 people to cast over it, and people don't have that excitement because they're not watching it live, because most people find out the results anyway. Yeah,
and that's it. Like, you think that, so when there's a tournament now, most people day one won't stream with delay, and you'll have all these people who want to see the tournament in action go into their favourite streamers. And imagine if TRS were hosting a tournament and they could go, oh, do you know what, TRS Twitch channel, go watch it there. We'll feature a game each round, and we'll keep you up to date with other games. When that game's finished, we'll jump to another game. And you can literally have live casting over it. It would get the Gwent community together, excited for a competitive Gwent.
But it's also continuous as well, because like, if one game finishes before another, all you got to do is then find
jump to another one.
Spiral's playing Semper, we'll jump into that game, and then when that game's finished, you could scroll through and go, oh, like Woody's playing Ville, we'll jump into that game. Oh, the round's finished, and then we'll line up a couple more games, and then the next day, you stream like a quarterfinals match, a semi-finals match, the losers bracket matches, finals, and it'd make it so much more better. I mean, it'd be long, because obviously the tournaments aren't easy and they are pretty long. But if someone wanted to do that, then that's, again, it'd be positive.
Yeah, no, definitely, and it brings excitement about competitive Gwent, because it makes people understand it more, and especially again if we have the Twitch overlay and that works in it. That's another thing for the players who go, oh, I'm going to watch my first tournament. They can interact with the Twitch overlay, and they're getting casting for it as well, and they're getting to see like top level players play against each other. Like, that is the perfect showcase for competitive Gwent. That's the perfect way of going, do you want to get good at this game? Here's how. Here's what you can aspire to. Vil, have you got anything to add on it, dude?
No, I think you guys summed it up pretty good. All I can say is these 2 modes definitely will benefit everyone in the community.
Yeah,
a podcast where people agree. This is strange.
I know, what's going on. What's going on, guys? Eh? We need to get into Discord where everyone disagrees. But anyway, let's jump across to topic 2, shall we, gentlemen? This is what you guys are here for. This is the real, where I can feel there's going to be passion shared here. The What's Up Gwent podcast is brought to you by Inked Gaming. Now, we all love sitting down opposite a friend to dive into some CCG or maybe even tabletop gaming action. And Inked Gaming lets you take that experience to the next level with full custom playmats. They've got playmats, large playmats, board game mats, wargaming mats, and even a size variety of PC mouse mats. It's not just about being great at your game, guys. It's also about looking damn good while you own it. And that's exactly what inkedgaming.com offers with their selection of custom gaming mats. And that's not all. Head over to inkedgaming.com now and use code TRS12 to get 12% off your first order. Looking good while you play just got cheaper. inkedgaming.com using the code TRS12 for 12% off your first order. The competitive state of Gwent, or the state of the competitive game in Gwent. So, to give context to players who maybe are new to the game, even context to someone like me who only joined in 2019, like 2018 actually, I joined last year, about a year ago. The current Gwent Master season started back in March 2017. So we're talking like 2 and a bit years ago, like a long time ago. So first things first, guys, is that too long for a competitive season?
Yes.
Yes.
There we go. That's it. Go home, guys. Thanks for listening. There you go. No. So it is way too long. There's no denying that. We could sit here and chew the fat on that for ages. What's the point? It's an obvious short answer. It's way too long. Now, I know you guys are super hyped, super excited, very keen to get information on Season 2. When do you guys think Season 2 starts?
The rumors I have kept on hearing about is January, but honestly, it doesn't look that bright with everything that's going on with all of the reworks and whatnot.
I'm calling January.
You both say January.
I think it will start in January. Because, so challenges this, say this month. Well, when you listen to this, it'll be this month. Because it'll be September.
14th of September, yeah.
And then let's hope that, say, Masters is November.
Is this the last challenger before Masters?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So let's say they transition really quickly into Masters, November, maybe December, very early on. And then they tease something at Challenger about Masters Season 2. Then at Masters they reveal what they want for the next plan. And then they transition into January, brand new year, and we all get to have competitive Gwent back.
I think March. And
no.
Here's my reason. Here's my reason for it. Okay, Masters won't happen in December. It's way too expensive. You're talking they got to fly them out in the busiest time of the year with flights. CDPR won't cover it. It's way too expensive to fly out competitors to a LAN tournament in December. Not going to happen. People are too busy. There's family commitments. People aren't going to give up a weekend in December. People can't get time off in December.
So what would be your argument for November then?
January. I think Masters is January. They announce it, then they go live with the new season in March, is my prediction.
Hear me out. They did a challenge in 2017, December. That wasn't a problem back then.
Okay. But Masters is a lot bigger. Is it more competitors than the Challenger? It's not, is it?
Yeah, but because the tournament's bigger doesn't mean that people's flights are going to be any more expensive.
No, I don't know. The turnaround with these guys seems to be quite slow. And we're talking mid-September, and then we're thinking expansion time, maybe the end of September, whatever. They're going to have to give them at least a season to get into the new expansion with these reworks. They're probably not going to want to do a Masters while they're reworking cards and getting them back to this, as you said, 3-month point where everything's balanced, nice and even. And then they can't do a tournament after the 15th of December, surely. It's just too close to Christmas. Then you've got New Year. People aren't going to do it between Christmas and New Year. I honestly think Masters is January. Then they have a season cooldown of February. And they start Season 2 in March. I hope I'm wrong, but that's my predictions on it.
No, I just think that's too long. I think they'll just get Challenger. Then they'll move into Masters probably in November or early December, like I said. And Season 2 starts in January, let's hope.
Let's hope. Now, before we go on further, I know that Semper has definitely feelings on this, and I'm pretty sure Ville will have feelings on this. So, the way the current format of Gwent works is you have Opens, you have Challenges, you have Masters. It has taken, you could argue that their setup, the format, is part of the reason the game has taken 2.5 years to have a competitive season. Do you guys like the current format of esports Gwent?
Yes and no.
Okay, champ. Delve into it. This is a happy, safe place. Rant or praise all you want away.
I think the open challenger masters format. I think the tournament format is fine, right? It's, you get top 2 in an open, you qualify for challenger. The winner of challenger qualifies for masters. 5 winners of challenges, 3 ranking. Would I like to see more people at Masters? Probably. And the Opens and challenges. I think 8's maybe a little too little. Maybe if you start pushing it to 16, 32, you actually get a wide range of players actually qualifying.
Yep.
The one part I don't agree with is the heavy reliance on ladder it is to get into qualifiers.
Yeah.
Like, I would like to see that qualifiers actually being open for people to qualify in. Like, you don't have to get so many crown points to get into qualifier.
Yeah.
I'd like to see it a bit more open for people just to enter. Like, some people have a lot more time to play on ladder than others do.
That's a
Some
big
people
concern,
have got
yes.
real life commitments and stuff. Like, I don't play as much ladder as I used to, but someone who plays twice as many games as me can, if they get off to a bad start, they get a lot longer to fix their season than I would.
Yep.
But whereas if we both went into a tournament on a weekend, like, the tournament would be more like, give it a bit more skill based, I suppose, because tournament players, I think, is a lot better than ladder. I also think, like, if they wanted to stick with ladder, that open lists on ladder, don't know if it would be possible, would be a way forward, because then it stops with all the like, people just qualify in pro ladder, right, and they just meme, like, they just play like Dragon's Dream and Gernakora, like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, I'm gonna get beat by Gernakora just because he plays Dragon's Dream and he went into a long round. It's like, get the fuck out of here. So I don't like that sort of stuff. So, like, I'd rather cut the randomness out, and at least then, like, if I know if someone queues up Gernakora and they got a Dragon's Dream in there, it's like, oh, well, hello, I know it's there. I'm not going to be caught out by it. Let's play around it. Like, if anyone ever plays Rouse Dragon Dream with Gernakora, then they're just what an idiot. Come on.
Yeah, you're right. Before we jump over to Ville, do you think that they could go down a route like what the ECG done? So for people who don't know, that's the European Gwent competition. Sorry, EGC. Do you think that they go down that route where they've so they have the Gwent League and they have a league system that are feeding players in, and that could be the ladder. But so they have people who could qualify on ladder with crown points, but then they also offer maybe a community tournament once a month that people can also qualify for the opens and challenges through that as well. So they could have like a hybrid of both. Do you think that could work?
I reckon it could work. Like, I mean, it's working for EGC so far, right? Like, you've got the Gwent League going on. Obviously, I'm not following the Gwent League because I don't have time to play my games during the week. But obviously, I've played in every single tournament on the weekend at the moment.
Well, I mean, obviously, the variety of qualifying is incredible because Semper is a very modest player, but has performed exceptionally well the last 2 tournaments he's been in, making second day on both of them, just outside the automatic qualification, finishing 4th in one of them, and like a very good player. But you're also now, I think I saw you're 4th on the EGC League, meaning at the moment you've got a qualifying spot on that. So although you keep consistently performing well, you might not qualify automatically for the tournament. That's another route for you to qualify. And at the moment, you're in that position because you're good, consistent performances, which is nice. Like, it puts less pressure, I suppose, doesn't it, on I have to win this tournament right now.
Yeah, I suppose. Like, that kind of system awards consistency, right? And like, consistent players, I think, tend to deserve to be rewarded for doing well consistently. I've said consistently like 15 times.
Well, you don't get much more consistent than Semper. So if anyone's going to say it 15 times, you are the man, buddy. Ville, what's your thoughts on it at the moment, and what's your thoughts on the current state of the format of esports Gwent? Your time to say your feelings. Remember, we are in a little nest of trust, mate.
I actually quite like the current format. Having open challenger, open challenger, and then the World Masters in the end. I like it actually a lot. It's very good. It gives, I think, like a fair amount of time for everyone who's interested to try to get into one of those tournaments. And the qualification system, I'm actually also quite fine with it. I want the ladder to have some sort of a meaning, and also basically what Semper said is that maybe some people then don't have that much time to play ladder than the others, and they might have an edge on that. But there's also the thing you have to remember is the tournament times are also very harsh on some people, especially NA people. There's a lot of EU tournaments, EU time zone tournaments, and NA people can't. I mean, they can play those, but it's hard. Like I think we had Synergy and Johagis. I think both NA had to wake up super early to play in the last tournament as well, and it doesn't feel good. So like, I think both like going through tournaments and laddering is fine, but personally, I actually prefer laddering a bit because I get to do it whenever I please to do it. Whereas in like I have to prepare for a tournament and then I have to make sure that I'm on time and whatnot. And it's just more. I like to do things my way, and ladder kind of gives me that flexibility of doing things my way whilst qualifying, and that's what I enjoy probably the most right now. And yeah, so I don't really have a problem with any of the systems. Maybe the pro ladder seasons could be a bit, like tiny bit longer like they used to be, but yeah, like that would give more people time to play on the ladder, and that's basically my thought behind that.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, it's a fair point. Like you said, it's a double-edged sword, isn't it? The ladder is play when you want, when you can, but people who do get more time are going to get a chance to correct their MMR. Whereas you do a tournament, you're always going to be cutting out part of your community because of timings and things like that. So it is a double-edged sword. So I can, it's a fair point there. So how long do you guys think a competitive season should last? Like Hearthstone is yearly, Magic the Gathering is yearly. They're the only two I really looked at because they're the kind of the top esport CCGs. How long do you guys think a competitive season or year? Sorry, you know what I mean. A competitive season should last in Gwent.
I mean,
I think like solid 10 months. Like you could start way like at January and then you could end September, October, maybe even November. But I think we should be finished by December, so everyone would have at least a bit of a rest before the new year and the new season comes along.
Yeah, Semper, what do you think, bud?
Most esports, because I'm a big esports fan, I follow quite a few games. Yeah. Like the majority of them just yearly, right?
Yeah.
So like, just stick to a year.
Yeah, it wasn't a trick question. It was purely in case some of you come out and said, "Oh, 6 months, 8 months," like Ville said, 10 months. I do like the 10-month one being nice because it gives, like you said, the big finale in November. Everyone gets excited. There's a time of Christmas where people can be like, "Do you know what? I'm not pressured to play the game. I'm not gaining crown points. I'm not gaining position on ladder. As long as I keep my position on pro ladder, I'm fine." There we go. Now I can get back into it in January. That's quite a nice little way of doing it. And before we kind of start wrapping it all up, or I asked if you guys got anything else on competitive Gwent. So EGC is here. Do you feel like EGC has kind of been a bit of a saving grace in the competitive scene of Gwent? Has it kept the competitive players around? Because I can't get on with auto chess games at all. I've tried. I think it's because it had to do with money management, and I'm shit at managing money. Honestly, I get very impatient playing those games. They're here, and they're building up a big kind of snowballing competitive scene. There's lots of games out there that have got a big competitive scene. Do you think EGC has kept, not all, but some competitive players around waiting for Season 2?
Definitely. Like, without EGC, the wait would be way harder, in my opinion.
Yeah. Senpai?
I mean, I can only speak for me personally, right? I can't speak for anybody else. But it is generally the only reason why I'm playing Gwent.
Is EGC.
Mm-hmm. Like, if EGC wouldn't have happened, I probably would have stopped playing a few months ago. And then whether or not I came back is a different story.
Yeah. Well, it's always hard to come back, isn't it? It is always easy to go, I'll be back, I'll come back and play. But it is hard to go, I need to invest that time back into it and all that.
The thing about it is it's giving me a reason to play.
Yep. Like,
what's the point in, like, I don't mind getting, like, stressed at a game or, like putting a lot of hours into it and going through all the sacrifices to get good at the game and put hours into it and make sure I qualify if I've got a reason to. I'm not gonna play ladder for no reason and get myself stressed out for no reason.
Yeah.
But if I'm playing ladder to qualify, or if I'm playing tournaments to qualify, like that stress ends up being more rewarding if the qualification happens, if that makes sense. Like I've got a reason to play.
Yeah, no, it makes so much sense. Makes a lot of sense. And I think that's where my mindset kind of went. Like, don't get me wrong, if someone offered me a qualification place for ECG, I would take it, but I would like to qualify for it. But I kind of made the decision halfway through this month. I was like, I pulled out of the league because it just got ridiculous. Like, constantly going, can you play the game here? But not like my free time wouldn't marry up with someone else's free time, and it was just like, this is a stress I don't need in the Gwent league. So I was like, I can't be dealing with this. Like, someone's saying I can't play this day, I can play this day, and I was just like, look, fine, whatever. I was doing mediocre in it. Pull me out the league. And taking a break from competitive Gwent and Gwent in general has made me go, I'm looking forward to get back into it. I don't have as much ambition as either of you two to get to EGC. Like I said, I'm still going to compete in tournaments. I'm still going to play more. My aim is more to improve my game rather than to get there. And maybe get ready for Gwent Master Season 2 is kind of where my mind's going rather than now. But I know you guys are working damn hard on qualifying. And I think I'm not the only one who wishes you the best. Probably every listener now wishes you the best to qualify.
Well, let's hope I qualify before I lose my sanity.
Yeah, like Semper said, like the EGC definitely is what keeps the competitive players' mindset on the game. Ladder, let's be honest, it really has no point other than staying in pro to get top 500. But even some of the competitive players at this point, they don't even care about that. They're fine if they drop out, which that is a red light, definitely. Like for competitive Gwent right now. So EGC, I think, has probably saved, at least I can talk for us to has saved me and Semper, because we literally we scream a lot together so we can get and qualify, because it's literally the only thing you can qualify for right now. And yeah.
No, that makes sense. Well, gents, is there anything else you want to add? Because I know this is your bread and butter, this competitive state of Gwent. Is there anything else you want to add before we wrap things up? Anything you felt I've missed, or anything you're like, do you know what? This is burning a hole inside me. I need to get this off my chest. Anything you guys want to say at all?
No, I think we've pretty much covered it all.
Ville, dude? No, I don't think I have anything that burning on me right now. I think we cleared pretty much all the areas we wanted to.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, it's always a pleasure working with you two. It's I feel like all my bullet points I've got down, all my notes got down. We've ticked off. We've gone through them. You guys, as always, have answered them as brilliantly as I expect you would. And I feel people listening hopefully got an idea of what competitive Gwent is, why some people maybe are really not happy with the state of it at the moment. And I mean, who knows? Points win prizes, and we all took a prediction. You guys said January, I said March. Hopefully at the Challenger, for your guys' sake, we find out when it is. I don't know if we do find out at the Challenger. We know there's something coming at the Challenger. That was told today. Burza teased it on the patch. But we don't know exactly what is coming at the Challenger. So if you're interested in competitive Gwent, guys, and you didn't get to see that on the patch video, make sure you tune into the Challenger, and they will be teasing something at some point during the broadcast. But yes, before we go though, gents, you know what it is. It is the highlight of this show. It's probably why people sit here for an hour. Gwent card lore.
Don't stab me in the back this time, Ville.
Hey. Well, we've got a continuous score. I think Semper and Baby Joseph are the only ones to not have points on the board.
Semper got it right until Ville changed his mind.
Nah, I mean, I've got to be on Ville's side. I thought Ville was helping you out. He was just stating that they're in the book as well. That's what it was.
That's how we're good.
Semper's super happy with that. Okay, guys. So today on our card Gwent lore, I should get some kind of jingle, shouldn't I, to come in with it? Today on card Gwent lore, we are talking about Ethne. I can't say the card Ethne anymore because she's more of a skin now. Her card doesn't really exist. But Ethne as her card lore. Ethne appears in the books around... It's in the book 2 of the short stories, Swords of Destiny. Is where you first meet Ethne. Now, Ethne has a daughter. And what I want to know from you guys is, who is Ethne's daughter? Now, I will warn you, Senpai, I will be coming to you first because I think Vil will know this answer.
Of course Vil's going to know this answer.
So, is Ethne's daughter... And apologies if I pronounce these wrong. I don't speak... Elf or Dryad, I don't know their language, so I'm probably going to pronounce the names wrong. But hopefully you guys know who I mean in card basis. So, is Ethne's daughter Moren? Is Ethne's daughter Bran? Or is Ethne's daughter Erlene? Is it Erlene? Yeah, Erlene.
Ailerin? I think.
Ailerin. There you go, Ailerin. This is my handwriting as well, and I'm pretty tired. So, Ailerin. So, is it Moren, Bran, or Erlyn? Which one of those is Ethne's daughter? Semper Champ, which one do you think?
This is the worst part of the podcast.
Pressure's
I know nothing about law. I'm just going to go with C.
You going to go with Erlyn?
Yeah, it's just a complete guess. Nobody hate me.
Erlyn. Whew. I mean, bold choice.
I'm not changing this time. I'm sticking
sure?
to my guns. Yes.
Are you sure you want Erlyn?
Yes.
Okay. Vil, do you know who Ethne's daughter is? Is it Moren, Bran, or Erlyn?
Answer would be a Moran.
You're saying Moren. The answer is a Moren, yes. Unfortunately, Erlyn isn't even a Dryad. So, she's an elf. So, don't worry. Don't worry. You meet Bran first when there's a whole scene when Gwent, his name's not Gwent, when Geralt first actually meets Cyrilla or Ciri, and it's in the forest of Broccolin, and he's actually with Bran, or Bren, and then they meet Ethne, and they meet Moren later on in the actual, in Broccolin, shall we say. And that's where you meet them. It's in the Swords of Destiny if anyone's interested. You'll find that out in the Netflix show as well, because apparently the Netflix show are covering the first 2 books. So that is a pretty big scene, and I'd assume it will be in the Netflix show. But anyway, Vil, you're actually the current leader. You are on 2 points. Everyone else is on 1. Semper, unfortunately, dude, you're yet to score.
I've got to be honest. Like, if we do this podcast for like 3 years, I still won't have a point unless I guess it right.
I mean, I gave you a chance to change your answer.
I think I've tilted so many people with that answer as well, because I forgot Aileen was a fucking elf. Jesus Christ.
I mean, don't worry. There will be people. There will be possibly some people listening who are like, "What? She's not even a Dryad." But I'm sure most people won't even know that. Well, not many actually won't know that. But anyway, gents, it has been a true pleasure. I love doing these shows. And just before we wrap up, I just want to say, if people are still here, I've had an abundance of messages. Oh my God, since I put a video out 3 days ago about my thoughts on the current state of Gwent, Jesus Christ, I've had so many messages on Discord. Mostly positive, a few that I'm just going to ignore because, hey ho, if you're salty, I don't really care. But I've had a couple of people actually asking about this podcast, and the fact that you people are going out your way to ask about the podcast because you're concerned about it continuing with me not playing Gwent much, like, is lovely, because clearly you're enjoying it. You wouldn't reach out for something that you're not enjoying. So firstly, it's very humbling to read those messages, so thank you for those messages, guys. Secondly, the show is going nowhere. Like, I took a break from Gwent. I'm not playing Gwent anymore. I've given my reasons many times why I took a break from Gwent, and I'm still doing these shows. If I take a break from Gwent in the future, these shows will still continue. I love doing the show. I love sitting down with the likes of Vil, with the likes of Semper, and I love chatting Gwent. I'm very passionate about the game. I love the game. I'm not as competitively passionate as Vil or Semper, but it doesn't mean I'm not passionate about playing the game. I like playing the game for fun. I like creating content on the game, and I love connecting with the community in streams. So yeah, the show is going nowhere. Do not panic. People were like, "Oh my God, like it's gonna go." It's good. No, the show's going nowhere, guys. You're still going to get a fortnightly dose of my dulcet tones and whichever lovely heroes are on as well. Although someone did say we need to get a female on soon because they feel like we're being a bit sexist. So
What?
Yeah,
Okay.
I actually had an email message saying that why is every episode a guy? And I'm like, I suppose that's kind of fair point. So I'm going to reach out to a female to tick all the boxes, and then everyone will be happy. Simple as that. But anyway, guys, I just want to say that before we wrapped it up. A public thank you from me to our heroes, to Ville and Semper. They gave up their free time this evening to play the last day of the best meta the game has ever seen. So thank you very much, gents.
Jesus Christ.
Semper's now going to go and listen to some Bon Jovi to make himself feel better. Ville's probably going to go and play some Gwent because the guy always plays Gwent. But no, thank you very much, guys. It does mean a lot you giving up your time. Time is a very valuable thing. And so thank you, gents. And thank you to the listeners who stopped by to listen to the show. I'm glad you guys like it. Thank you for the feedback. Keep it coming. Like, honestly, you cannot offend me. And I mean it when I say that. You cannot offend me. If you don't like the show, you don't agree with a topic, throw it down in the YouTube comments or hit the link to the Discord and you can throw feedback over on Discord. Like I said, please, I love feedback. I love knowing what you guys, I love knowing what the community think. And if it's a fair comment, we'll talk about it on the next show and we can chew the fat as a group over there. But anyway, thanks so much, guys, for stopping by. Until next time, you guys just have a great day, morning, evening, week, fortnight, whatever is where you guys are. And until then, goodbye from me and goodbye from my heroes.
Bye.
Bye.